Всем привет, привет. Мы с вами Вампир. И погнали. Так, ну все, поехали. Лошарики. О, смотрите-ка. Опа. Труп.
Get them weapons ready! Die, vermin!
Так, пробраться в театр. Смотрите, какой здоровый чувак. Труп. Труп, сразу труп.
It's locked.
Так, дверь заперта. Тут никак не пробраться. Тут тоже. Так, тут никак нам не пробраться.
Look lively! Fuck, it's fast! There's an open window on the second floor. I should be able to get in through that.
Так, мы пробрали с вами театр.
Woe to you, nations of hypocrites. For in front of you stands the tall queen.
Can that be Doris Fletcher's voice? Where does it come from?
Так, мисс Флетчер голос, да? Так, старый дневник Дорис Флетчер. Так, она внизу.
This is despicable.
Да я нашел ее, эту Дорис Флетчер.
I cannot enter.
А вот и она. Кто ты? Осмелишься вторгнуться в мое царство? Пришел ли ты поклониться мне? Или осмеясь? Я пришел положить конец эпидемии вампиризма, мисс Флетчер. О, Дорис Флетчер больше нет. Ее душа утонула на слоениях мерзостной плоти. Вы злитесь из-за того, что с вами случилось, но я могу вам помочь. Я врач, мисс Флетчер. Дорис Флетчер больше нет. Остались лишь воспоминания о ее царствовании.
And the queen she'll be. Until then, all shall die, for that was her final wish. Whoa, arise and save your
А ну-ка давай-ка.
Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of she was once renowned. Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate?
Иди сюда. Вот так вот. В принципе, это очень легко.
Wait. I beg you, wait.
What?
I don't want to die.
And I did not come to kill you, Miss Fletcher.
Will you spare me then? Save this cadaverous carcass of mine. Does your heart beat a little faster now? You fancy me then, Doctor?
No, Miss Fletcher. My dead heart will beat for only one.
Ah! Is she pretty? Is she sweet and tender?
To me, yes.
Ah! I hate her already.
I know. And this is partly why you must be destroyed.
But you just said...
That I did not come here to kill you, yes. But I realize now the threat you embody must be stopped.
Will I be remembered? Will you?
You were Doris Fletcher, the greatest actress of her generation. No one can take that from you.
Thank you. And farewell.
Вот так вот.
Farewell, Doris.
Bravo! So dramatic. I love it.
Macallum!
How strange I seem to find you whenever I'm inquiring about that skull infestation.
I mean you no harm.
I'm not here for you. But once I've put all the pieces of the puzzle together, I'm sure we'll have a little chat, you and me.
Stay away from me, Macallum. You and all your war dogs.
That I can't guarantee, Dr. Reed. But I'll let you go. For now.
I should probably leave the theater right now.
Be strong, brother!
The West End should be safe now. But London is not. It would be wise to benefit from the Ascalon's protection.
Так, новый дневник Дорис Флетчер. Уходим отсюда, раз нам дали такую возможность. Я бы, конечно, на самом деле остался и просто покрошил бы их всех. Потому что что-то они слишком охренели.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Эти люди хотят меня убить, нужно бежать. Побежали.
So Doris just needed
Так, обновленное задание.
close to
Да?
her audience to infect them. Contagion through skin. Very disturbing.
Так, а давайте-ка. 3000 мало.
Your men!
Only the first step. Women of all countries unite.
Elizabeth, what are you doing here?
I've been formally asked to witness your triumph, my dear. After all, isn't it the natural role of a woman to support her man in victory?
But it's you who insisted I join the Ascalon.
Please forgive my giddiness. I'm just overcome by the thrill of finally being allowed within these hallowed halls.
You certainly have an inquisitive mind. It's quite something. Elizabeth Ashbury, only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reed. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
Окей.
Lord Redgrave can play with the brave all he wants, but I won't put a foot outside.
Не, мы-то поднимемся.
We went in there.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Have a drink and enjoy this night. I personally went patrolling last
Какие-то они все одинаковые. А где старикан, который сидел?
This is an outrage.
I know we're facing a crisis, but I'm shocked no one took the time to clean up the mess inside the club since we were attacked.
Так, а реально, где-то старикашка.
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lance-Bearer. Please, tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
Я
I
старался.
did my best.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
Ну давайте как
As you
прикажете.
wish, my lord.
Good. Now go.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Your word is my command.
Окей. Ну все, погнали.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
Мне нужен ваш
I'd
совет.
like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I
Да,
guess,
хочу.
yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Please tell me more.
As long as you lower.
What would you have me do?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord
Походу,
Redgrave.
у меня создатель только прям супер, и у меня самая крутая кровь.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall, and yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, my dear.
Да уж. Окей, хорошо. Блин, но я ей доверяю, если быть честным. Тем более, она моя женщина.
Забрали реально очень красивые кадры.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top!
It's locked.
Так, с этой стороны не пройти, да? А как тогда можно пройти? А, вот, найти способ добраться до особняка, найти проход сквозь карантинное заграждение. Ну, давайте найдем.
I think this passage could lead me close to Aloysius Dawson's mansion.
How dare you interfere with my hunt!
Пойдем по каким-то подземельям. Это тоже неплохо. Так, подождите, ребятки, хочу немножко отойти. Так, я тут. Поехали.
I cannot enter.
Die, newborn!
Давайте мы его проучим. так вот. Нашлись мне тоже тут бойцы. А кто там? Это типа его охранник какой-то там был, да? Нашелся мне тоже. Охранник.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Тихо, тихо, тихо.
I can't believe I'm doing this. It's locked. It's locked, all right.
А ну-ка. Чик-чик-чик-чик-чик-чик-чик. А, нам нужно воду спустить, да?
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
Will never be your wife!
Так, а что это значит? Спасти воинственную женщину, победив ее похитителя. Не, ну тут больше некуда идти. Рили некуда. Хотя давайте еще одну посмотрим штуку. Ну ладно, звуки откуда-то отсюда идут.
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Ладно, мы пока с ней попрощаемся. Вот и все, и на месте. Быстро мы справляемся со всякими боссами. Ну а почему бы нет? Мы супер раскачанные.
Good evening, Miss Doris. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Так. А что он продает? Ну, всего остального у нас вроде бы достаточно.
Dr. Reed, I am glad to see you again.
О, какая-то еще девушка появилась. Так, давайте мы пока спросим, пообщаемся.
Good evening. Do you need? I'm. What can you?
I'm.
Really?
Don't get.
Tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up, nothing at all, Dr. Reed.
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health when she was younger.
Have you not seen Carol since you returned? She's almost a young woman now, but she'll always remain my sweet little baby.
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her in real danger.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price. Especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe I was a bad mother to protect her too much. My poor dear Carol.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Так, ладно, а если тут подробнее? Давайте, ну, мало еще.
Goodbye for now.
А вот дочурка.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed?
Доктор Рид, да, конечно, вы же лечили меня и матушку. Добрый вечер, доктор Рид.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too.
Рад видеть вас, Кэрол. Все ли в порядке?
Oh, yes.
Да, в последнее время я обходилась без травм. Я знаю, как о себе позаботиться.
I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
Why is work not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithercote used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No.
Конечно, не приходит, потому что я его убил.
Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes, a very strange man, not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Goodbye, Carol.
Так, мы открыли подсказку.
It's locked, all right.
Dr. Reed.
Good evening.
You know.
Так, тут ничего не открыто, значит тут.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Угу. Но она немножко странноватая. Так. А, вот амнемия у нее есть, мы можем вылечить, да? Мы, кстати, ее здоровье совсем не посмотрели.
Do you need my... Don't be shy.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good morning. Good evening, sir.
Тут какой-то мужичок.
May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
Вот так вот.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes. The situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work-to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Давайте ему дадим лекарство.
Do you need...
Thank you.
What are you really...
I told...
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange which requires police attention?
I'd like to report a name, Inspector. Jeffrey Macallum. I'm afraid he's some sort of vigilante, trying to recruit an army of angry citizens.
Then I'll write the name down and transmit this intelligence to the appropriate office. Thank you, sir.
Why are you... I'd like...
Then I'll...
А, все, я сообщил.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I currently have a few missing persons cases. Mr. Tadao Kimura and Miss Louise Teasdale. I'm afraid they may have been abducted by my mysterious maniac.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Our father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
Tell me about Mr. Kimura.
Mr. Kimura is a businessman who has been missing for a few days. He didn't go home, didn't go to work, didn't go back to his family.
Where was he last seen?
Mr. Kimura was last seen at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich. I followed a possible lead in the West End, but I found nothing.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it. With just one phone call.
Вот так вот.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Таким людям нельзя давать бессмертие. Это в любом случае. Так, Луизу мы спасли. Так, мне кажется, тут еще люди должны быть какие-то. Так, здесь есть убежище. У нас есть 6000 с вами. Можем, в принципе, сходить, что-нибудь качнуть. Или нет, не будем? Не, нужно. Обязательно нужно. Вот так вот. Полностью все. Ну вот здесь еще. Так, тут я все вкачал. Тут тоже. Ну, давайте тут качнем. Ну мы уже супер крутые. Так, похилили. Он похилил и на пару процентов только поднялось. Тут же все здоровые, живы. Многих я просто не знаю пока. Угу. Дверь отсюда открыл. Давайте сходим с этой стороны, посмотрим, да?
Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me?
Yes, they tell me everything. They've told me of your unquenchable thirst for blood. Be wary, Ekon. I've heard such a rich diet can be bad for the heart.
Чего? Так, ребятки, возьмем небольшую паузочку. Паузочку возьму. Пам-пам-пам-пам-пам. Тут. Тут как тут.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller then?
Oh, I can tell you many things. But they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Так. Ладно, ответим потом, там слишком много на этом сообщений.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Да я, в принципе, это знал. Переутомление, давайте мы ему лекарство дадим.
What can you tell? So you...
Oh.
Read you. Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are
Не
not
читайте ее
meant to be
неразгаданными, даже для
even to
бессмертных.
immortals.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Here is the money.
The snake, a bitter woman, smiling as she pours poison in your cup. A shaming betrayal. Hate.
Можете подать мне на картах?
Can you read the
Put the money on.
Давайте.
Here, the glutton. A man
Обжора,
who just
человек, что
eats
вкушает
life
жизнь,
as a
словно торт.
cake. A righteous ego,
Не веривший, что
surprised
способен
to fall
влюбиться.
in love.
Я столько денег, когда можете выдать мне на карту.
Can you read the
Put the money on the table.
Here.
The hunter. A good heart in disguise.
Охотник, скрывает лжец, который хочет помочь. Держит оружие. Блин, я одни эти открываю. Ладно, давайте еще. А, все. У меня нету денег. Как вы узнали, скольких я убил?
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right. Let me hear it.
You'll cast your heart into the fire without hesitation, Jonathan. For pain is only for the mortals.
I would rather not. How do you...
I told
Is it possible?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate.
Так, как вам... Кто вам рассказал Мэри?
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He
Блять,
had
я не
to
понимаю
tell
одного,
me
почему
about Mary.
на вебке я сижу неровно. Все равно вот эта рука выше. Видите плечо? Вот если я опущу, норм. Приподнимаю, оно выше. Как будто бы у меня... Так, она не заслужила такой судьбы. Я не смог убедить ее. Это была уже не моя сестра.
She was no longer the sister I knew. She had changed. Hateful and bitter. She was determined to destroy our entire family.
She returned as a force of evil, Jonathan. In putting an end to her misery, you also protected many innocent souls.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson? Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Так, все, ладно, мы ничего не узнаем. Теперь у нас есть, смотрите, найти... Так, а давайте мы, наверное, с вами подсмотрим подсказку, что ли. Так, двоечку. Давайте мы с вами откроем. Загадка с плитами. Как решить гонку с пластинами на полу церкви? Там. Давайте посмотрим.
Всем привет, меня зовут Андрей, это канал Сириус Планер. Это видео о том, как получить достижение соответственно, поехал. Чтобы... Так вот здесь есть секретные пластины, которые закрывают секретный проход. Чтобы открыть проход, нужно нажать их до определенной комбинации. Комбинация неизменна. Всегда. Но значение этих пластин... Вот видишь, там загорается эта штучка. Там штучка лежит, очень важная. Чтобы присвоить комбинации, в смысле к этим пластинам значение, чтобы отобрать комбинацию, нужно сделать определенный квест. Квест берется у этого пацана.
Ну ладно, ребятки, я понял, что квест делается у чувачка. Давайте вот этот квестик мы возьмем, да? Это мы позже сделаем. Куда нам нужно? Воу-воу-воу. Ну ладно, погнали. Хочу разгадать тайну. Так, как нам лучше пойти? А мы пойдем, наверное, через эту дверь и пойдем. Плохо, что нету никакой мини-карты. Так, теперь нам нужно сюда. Да, без проблем. Только теперь нам куда нужно? Ну, я думаю, нам нужно сюда. Так, ребятки. Так, я тут. Поехали, так. Блин, ну нам точно сюда куда-то.
I will return at a more convenient time. I cannot enter. It's locked.
Носить сбил ключ, которая стражи Привена украли у Ашера Толти. Давайте. Так. Блин, ну это как будто бы где-то под землей.
It's locked, all right.
It's one of them! Oh my God!
Блин, как туда добраться? Я хз на самом деле.
It's locked.
Так, давайте, ладно, подсмотрим. Не, давайте так.
Что здесь? Не помню. Итак, с этой запиской мы приходим сюда. Тут, здесь, да? Вот это Сулейман, ну-ка. Ящик панды. Итак, с этой запиской мы приходим сюда. Разгадать загадку сам. Атик, ромбик.
Бля, так а как он эту записку-то взял?
У Ашера Толтли. Активируем ее. И отправляемся в данную область. Итак, мы прибыли в указанную область. Здесь вы также будете находиться по квесту, по основному сюжету. Но не буду рассказывать, что за квест. Заходим внутрь.
Ясно, мы, короче, сейчас не можем туда зайти. Это все понятно стало сразу. Да уж, конечно. А когда мы сможем туда попасть?
I cannot enter.
Ну и хрен с ним. Так, с доктором Сонси можем поговорить. Угу. Ладно, войти в особняк можно. Так, особняк у нас здесь находится, правильно?
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
May I ask what you're doing outside?
I don't.
You must... From
Немного слишком базара.
What can you...
It's
Why...
because...
No.
Good.
May I...
I...
What is that all?
Pericles.
Who are you?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it.
But what else could it...
I don't know.
Trap?
At least... Have you ever...
What can you...
You should...
Do you need my med...
Indeed.
You... Goodbye. Good evening.
Doctor,
is there a...
No, it's...
That's all. I'm afraid... Tell me...
And because we...
Why do you...
I'm not...
Can
As
please...
do you like...
Yeah, but what...
Do we yet?
And what... Tell me... But what...
Does it... Agamemnon.
What if that's it?
For the time... But is...
Who
I would... This
But why...
Well...
What I've... Goodbye.
По 2800 можно из них высосать, из этих братьев-то. Вот какие-то Колхан, какие-то чуваки. Их даже не знаю. Так, мы там еще о ком-то узнали подсказки. Мы там узнали подсказку о этой, а толку от нее.
It's locked.
Войти в особняк. Ну и как нам это сделать?
I cannot enter.
Так, а давайте мы выведем главное меню. Потому что у меня что-то не показывает задание. Это что-то странное. Такого не должно быть. А, особняк, наверное, не тут находится. Хотя я тут прошел. Может, особняк где-то здесь? Что на этот особняк не похож. Ну, особняк вот. Все, я понял. То я ходил, столько искал.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Вот так вот.
Finally you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Believe me, there is a huge difference between reading about vampires and waking up as one. I learned that myself the hard way.
Oh my God, man, stop your whining. I don't have time for your pointless jibber-jabber.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London. I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes. It will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
By doing so, you will also create two separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor.
Помешанный. Я бы, конечно, хотел бы не превращать его.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen, as long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Обратите, сделаю вас вампиром. Объять, я убью вас. Блин, у меня есть возможность загипнотизировать его. А что будет, что лучше? Давайте посмотрим. Я вот тут, в этом моменте, я ли хочу убить его, либо гипноз. Давайте мы подсмотрим. После его смерти или обращения повысится уровень гипноза. Но мне этот чувак не нравится. Мне кажется, что он заслуживает смерти.
You don't deserve immortality, Mr. Dawson.
What? What are you prattling on about?
I don't believe I've ever met a man so bereft of empathy. You, sir, are despicable.
No! Wait! You can't! I made a deal with Lord Redgrave. I'll finance whatever he wants. Please, just ask him.
Sleep now. Rest now. Forever.
Ты уже все вообще? Давай, крошка, я буду по тебе скучать. Так, это первый у нас сейф. Я так понимаю, должны быть еще сейф. Вот еще один. Шиллинги плюс 500. Я так понимаю, сейчас какая-то война будет.
Is it done, Dr. Reed? Is Aloysius Dawson reborn as expected?
Alas, Aloysius Dawson was not brought back to life after his death. The man is gone.
What? What happened?
Он не пережил ритуала.
He didn't survive the procedure. He was too weak.
This is unacceptable, nevertheless. You were given the simplest task.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished. You are forbidden to ever appear in front of us again. Ascalon will smite you on sight, and your heart will be thrown to the rags.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor, and take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
Защитить Пермскую больницу. Ну еще как, давайте-ка. Сейчас будут все нападать на меня, наверное. Тоже мне нашелся делок. Сейчас мы быстренько с ним расправимся.
We meet
Old Bridget.
your friend, the wise Ekon.
Lady Ashbury.
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned...
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
No time to lose then.
I shall return to my den.
Yes.
Is this still unknown to her? Go now and...
Юный? Да я уже совсем не юный. Так, нам вернуться нужно в больничку. Леди Эшбери. И в больничку. Так, по поводу людей у нас толп мертв. А как нам лучше? Наверное... Вот, лучше, наверное, вот здесь мы пойдем, да? Вот здесь вот. Но бояться мы точно никого не боимся. Что ты тут делаешь, братишка? Дядя что-то попутал, реально. Неужели не думают, что они меня остановят? Так, поворачиваем. Так, идем мы правильно. Прямо к больничке идем.
Don't you know better?
Ты ничего, дядя, не попутал? Так, началась уже охота на меня.
What is this truck? Are the vampire hunters here already? It's alive! It's alive! And it needs a name. I shall call you Lisa.
Есть, мы получили достижение.
Those bastards. What have they done to Edgar? Looks like he's wounded. I better follow the blood.
А давайте мы ее убьем, эту.
Good evening.
Мы даже в такой момент все равно умудряемся убить кого-нибудь. Тут недалеко идемте. Совсем недалеко. За нее неплохо дадут, по-моему. Там 5000 или сколько.
Liar! Snake! I had proved my value. I could have done so much more.
Пять тысяч за нее дали, 5000. С двух сторон открыта дверь уже. Тут еще и какой-то лифт есть, ничего себе. Мы многое не знаем о этой больничке. Итак, ждем загрузочки. Так, включим свет, чтобы мне было получше видно. Хотя, давайте я этот свет отключу. И включу вот этот свет. Включу свет сзади, так сказать. Так, хочу сесть полностью, целиком, во весь рост, поэтому поднимем камеру. И погнали. Ну, здесь последний босс, я так понимаю, да, ребятки?
Ultraviolet curtains and orichalcum powder. Dr. Swansea's always been a resourceful bastard. I bet he never told you he had this installed in case of a vampire attack. Says a lot about how much he trusts you.
What have you done with Edgar?
Don't worry. We don't kill humans. Even if your friend is deserving of a little punishment for one.
What are you talking about?
We know everything. Swansea and you created this bloody epidemic. You aim to unleash another disaster just like William Marshall did.
No, I'm trying to put an end to it. Just like you are.
You're the progeny, aren't you? Where is the monster hiding? It's still in England, isn't it?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Jeffrey, please listen to me.
No tricks. That shit won't work on me. We've found proof in the theater. Doris Fletcher was your first experiment. Now where is Marshall? Speak!
Где маршал? Какой маршал? Я не знаю, о каком маршале речь идет.
So much for modern technology. Time for the tried and true. Do you know what this is, Beast? This is a drop of King Arthur's blood. The blood of a true defender of Britain. Stronger than your evil powers.
This is ridiculous. We're losing precious time.
True enough. Soon I'll bring your head before your coward of a father.
А ну-ка, давай, иди сюда. Блин, послушайте. Иди сюда, мы похилим сейчас благодаря тебе. А, я не могу способности использовать, когда в этой штуке.
Your poison is biting. The blood of a true defender of this land will protect me.
Сюда иди. Вот так. Что, подождем или убьем его с перчаточки? А, теперь иди сюда.
We are the guardian of justice. Priwen shall prevail.
You can't accept the fact we're not enemies, can you?
We always have been, and we always will be. Of all the evils that threaten mankind, your kind are the worst.
Perhaps you're right. Maybe I am a monster that deserves no mercy. But that's not all I am.
You're nothing but a corpse animated by evil, Doctor. Don't try and fool yourself.
There is no way you'll ever let me be, Mackallum. You'll always hunt me down, won't you?
There is no escape, Leech. Kill me now. For there is no way you can sway me to your ideals.
That's where you're mistaken.
Ха-ха-ха. Да ну, пощадите, я пощажу вас.
I'll spare you, Macallum. I'll offer you the mercy you never offered me.
What is this ruse?
This is no ruse, Macallum. This is me letting you go. After all, you and I are both trying to save this poor country in our own way.
У меня все-таки осталась человечность, как я и сказал.
I'll kill you, Reed. Next time we meet, I'll end you.
See? Progress already. You called me by my name. Until the next time. Goodbye, Hunter.
Вот так вот. Конечно, мы тут напроходили, сюжет закрученный, очень много диалогов, граждан этих, которые нахрен не нужны. Можно было сделать каких-нибудь 2 ветки, там каких-нибудь дополнительные квесты, но вот эти вот подсказки ненужные, они нахрен не нужны. То есть босс убивается на изи, особенно если вы просто пожираете граждан. Вот. Граждан можно пожрать и просто так, толком не узнавая никакие подсказки. Они и так узнаются, просто так узнаются, без всякого... Вы поняли? Вот. То есть при разговорах любых вы и так узнаете подсказки. Что, прокачаемся? Какую-нибудь магию, может, прокачаем? Давайте сходим, отдохнем в комнатку. Если мы вообще можем сейчас прокачаться. Что там сейчас произойдет этой ночью? Окей, убиты, что? Ну, заболели вот эти все, окей. Ну, у меня 5-й уровень гипноза, то есть... Мне сейчас, если... О, нет, хотя нет. Ребятки, а вот это 6-й уровень гипноза нужен. То есть сейчас я могу всех выпить. Кроме этого. Так, какое задание у меня самое сейчас важное, да? Добраться до театра Дорис Флетчер. А, вот мы и будем в театре, кстати. Нужно кровушки набиться, так чтобы полный запас у нас был. Ай, ну пустите вы меня. Ну ладно, мудил, иди сюда. Так, ну да, правильно мы идем, только не сюда мы пошли. Почему не сюда? Все правильно мы идем. А, мы просто его убили, блин. Сюда иди. Не забываем, нас здесь ждет еще одно достижение. Мы должны получить какую-то записку. Долгие загрузки, кстати, по непонятной причине. Ну да ладненько. Блин, реклама это спамеры эти задолбали.
So Priwen never left Doris's theatre after they invaded. They must be holding Edgar here in their new headquarters.
Вообще уже попутали берега. Он в подвале находится.
It's locked. Doris Fletcher was about to become a disaster. I'm getting close to having all the evidence. I cannot enter. It's locked. I cannot enter. Blood of a pure heart, garlic. I should find the key to that box. It's locked. It's locked.
Давайте мы прочитаем эту записку.
Right. Edgar. Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Да, братан, это я.
Easy. Easy. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late. Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Jeffrey Macallum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the Skal epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
To prove him wrong, I let him go.
Really? Are you sure that was the wisest course of action?
Time will tell. The most intriguing part of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall. Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
I think you're hiding something, Edgar.
What do you mean?
William Marshall, for example. You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of Macallum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick. That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms. Blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
How dare you judge me? Must I name the alarming list of your victims?
We are both deceivers. But at least I know I'm a monster.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
Я облегчу ваши страдания.
Yes, your death is imminent, Dr. Swansea. But I swear it will be quick.
I already told you to call me Edgar. Am I no longer your friend?
I believe you never have been, sir. You have lied to me at every step and betrayed the trust of a woman I cherish.
You and the lady? Really? Why, I should have seen it coming, I suppose. May I add that I welcome this? The biting, I mean.
You have your wish.
Is it going to hurt? I always wondered.
Шесть тысяч опыта. Подготовиться к бою с кошмаром. А вот это уже жестко, ребята. Так, там была записка. Маленький ключ — это фигня. Вот. Вплоть до дальнейших распоряжений. Этот сейф будет использоваться для хранения важных улик. Он будет постоянно заперт. Если вам понадобится его открыть, разыщите меня на 2-м этаже и возьмите у меня ключ. И не забудьте его вернуть. Сейчас, ребятки. Так, я буду на 2-м этаже. Ну, вот я на 2-м этаже, и что? А, все, вот. Теперь я смогу открыть сейф. Так, мы стримим 2.15 уже, да? Бля, хотел...
Don't know if I should read this.
Личная записная книжка. Так, ребятки, я бы закончил на самом деле стрим. Давайте я закончу стрим. Да, давайте я буду заканчивать свой стрим. И мы с вами продолжим сегодня же и доделаем концовочку. Все. Скоро вернусь. До скорых встреч. Через пару часов запущу стрим заново. Спасибо. Всем пока. До встречи.